What happens when your company has too many leaders all going in too many directions? I will tell you there's one word for that. It's chaos. Yes, like the old adage says, too many cooks spoil the broth. To expand on this, in a kitchen, there can only be one head chef. They run things and the others there are helping to produce the outcome desired. You can't expect good results if everyone is free to jump into the process. Pardon the pun, that would be a recipe for disaster. Here's how and why this dynamic of too many chefs reveals itself to me as I go about my work when I work as a consultant with a new company. Number one, there is no work chart. There's nothing laying out what boxes it takes to run their company and who's filling those boxes. So people are free to jump in anywhere they want, and they do. But it has a disastrous effect. So note, an org chart is designed to make it clear what box am I in today? What box can I go to tomorrow as I climb your ladder? Number three, who really is my boss? And number four, who can I go to for help? Number two, there is no one clear written leadership power document that has shared for all the owners and managers at this point the following things. Number one, set up a defined goal with clear objective benchmarks, including a time frame for hitting these agreed upon goals. Number two, what are the golden rules of how your business will operate? Number three, what is the mission statement so employees and management know what we're promising existing customers and prospective customers, but it also helps the people on the team know what they need to be delivering. Number four is a clear statement of what all the leaders believe are the reasons why they're mutually going to be able to get to those goals and make those a reality. And number five is, what are the projects and habits that need to be put in place so when you prioritize that list, it leads you towards that one set of goals that you've created together. Know that I didn't grow up working in big corporate America. I worked in my family contracting business, but I had plenty of friends and acquaintances along the way who did work for big corporate America. And they would share these horror stories about how many of them had too many leaders and too many of the spots, and they're all going in different directions, and it caused chaos. Nothing really much got done the way that it should have. And it was clear to them that their leaders were only focused on their own career path in a dog-eat-dog world. The mutual goal of the company was really an afterthought to them, if they gave it any thought at all. To me, this should never happen in the world of contracting because most of our companies are far and away classified as small business. But if multiple leaders aren't on the same page, the vacuum created and the strife that ensues will get people working there to focus only on themselves. So one of my first jobs when I come on board and I begin working with the team, is to get all the leaders together to work on a mutual goal, which is creating the master project list, top 30 and top 5. That has the positive effect of pulling the team together to identify what things are broken, what things need to work better, what things have to get in place so that they can reach their better short-term and long-term goals. So the goal of this work is to, number one, get on the same page as to where the projects and habits need to be and when they need to be worked on over the next 3 to 5 years, and that is in the form of the master project list. Number two is getting on the same page is getting that big list down to the 30, so that's what would be put in place in 1 year. And number three is really just getting on the same page is what are the top 5 things we need to work on together to get to where we need to go. So next up is getting on the same page about objective systems. And that takes the form of standard operating procedures or operating manuals for each of the boxes on the org chart. In other words, what happens 80% of the time in each of these boxes. With operating manuals, also known as SOPs, which stands for standard operating procedures, for each box, the next thing is creating a list of the right type of meetings with the right frequency. So again, everyone gets and stays on the same page. Now, meetings are unfortunately perceived as a waste of time. And that is true with only bad meetings. Good meetings follow the rules, my 10 golden rules for meetings. And they are the best if they are short and they follow a tight agenda and they're held frequently. None of the meetings that I have are done until you have the manuals in place, because what are you talking about? But once you do, you still must meet every week to cover at least 1 to 2 pages of the manuals, or they will drift and fall out of the company culture. There are multiple meetings. There are daily meetings, weekly meetings, monthly meetings, quarterly meetings, annual meetings. The thing is, it gets the whole leadership team on one set of direction. Here's the hard thing. I got my 10 golden rules for meetings, and at every meeting there can only be one leader. It's just ultimately the only way that it makes sense, and it's not unlike learning to have a head chef that everybody else helps.